Here we have first activity simply. Now what we are doing here is we have first activity, which is this is the calling activity, that is the first activity. Now what I am doing here is I have simply created an activity. Below to that I have two options, that is final country selection. I have two final defined int variables with rank selection and country selection. Below to that I have a onCreate method. What I am doing here is I have created a button called as countries, the one which you have seen in the example. Now I have put a set on click listener to this button. Inside the button what I am doing here is I have created an intent. Okay, now with this intent I am starting another activity from where I have to fetch the result. Now what is happening is, let's go to the activity from where we are trying to fetch the results. The activity name is country activity. Okay, now here what I have done is I have simply created a list view. You can say that. Now I have simply created a list view in an order. This is a list activity which is showing you the entire data in a list format. So I have added the array and I have completed it like with the use of array adapter, the same way as we have seen the earlier example, like array adapter is used to hold the data and then to populate in a list view. Then I have used a listener. Which listener I have used? I have used a on item click listener. This on item click listener, list item click, will allow me to click on a button, and then with the click on this button I will be able to go back. So I have defined here something in the object. I'm getting the list adapter data, etc., etc. Okay, so from the country I can get the data, which particular item you have clicked, Australia, India, England, etc., that you can get inside the country. Then what I'm doing here is I have created a simple intent. The intent which I have created is I have created the intent to put the data inside it. So I have put the data inside this intent, and then the data I'm putting is put extra, selected country, and then set result. The set result is something which you need to put to make sure that from which activity you are coming. So it is a kind of like a stamp from which activity you are coming. So result OK value, if you see above, by default it takes result OK, which is the equivalent to -1. It means that standard activity result operation succeeded, that value remains as -1, and then you are putting the data as a data. So this is the result you are setting inside it. Data contains the value on which country you have clicked, and result OK said that it's a successful operation, and then automatically you finish the activity. Now this intent does not need to specify on which class you need to go, because it is obviously mentioned from my calling activity that I am doing a StartActivityForResult. This method I am using. I am not using a method StartActivity. I am using a StartActivityForResult. It means that second activity will open, will fetch a result for me, and then I will come back on my first activity. So from the second activity, as we have seen, we have already set the data and then we have finished the activity. It means that this activity will get finished after resulting. We'll come back on the first activity. Let's see down the line what happens. In case of exception, I have simply handled the try catch thing. Below to that, I have a button named as rank. The button also does the same thing. I have two options, one for countries, one for ranks. So either you can select the countries or you can select the buttons, the ranks from different thing. It is also doing the same task, start activity for result. Then it is passing the intent, and then the intent is actually taking you to the particular class to select a particular data. Coming down, you can see on activity result. This is basically a method where you will see that how you are retrieving the data. You have a request code. Okay, now your result code is what? Result code is an int parameter. Result code should always be equivalent to your. Okay, I just got a question. Says that can you please just show me one index page which is having a background image and one button. When I just click the button, it will switch to next page. What you want to do is you want to have a image on as a background. Okay. Now, and a button. When I just click the button, it will switch to next page. It means that it will switch to next activity. You can do it simply by using the intent. You can have two activities, keep two background images on different layouts. Okay, so you will have two XML files. On one XML file you have one button, on another XML file you have another button. When you click on first XML file button, you click on it and then you proceed ahead to second activity. There you will be able to see it. I appreciate that if you try the same example after the class, it will be helpful for you also. And at the same time, if you are sticking up somewhere, you can right away ping our support guys. They will assist you right away with the, even you do the share screen and everything so that they can understand the code, they can check it out, and then you can finalize the solution. Does that sound great? By the time we'll finish these concepts. Is it okay, Mitali? Are you okay with this? Okay. So far, did you guys understood a little? I know that it's a little deep concept, but once you see the examples and running, when you will apply it yourself, you'll understand it much better. And definitely when you apply it, you will face problems. The moment you face problems, ping us. Then you will understand each and a step-by-step process to understand the entire way of doing things. Did you understood, all of you? Nikita, Mitali, Ashish, everyone? Did you understood so far? Okay, yeah, okay, cool. I hope everyone has understood so far. Now let's move ahead. So I was explaining the same example that it is showing you the result. You are in the on activity result. This is the method which will execute once you are returned back from the second activity on the first activity. And here you have a switch statement. Switch statement will do what? Will use the request code. A request code, it is accessing from the second activity. It could be 0, it could be 1s, or it could be like country selection, or it could be like rank selection. The value of country selection is what? If you see here, the value of country selection is 1. The value of rank selection is 2. Now here if you see, you are passing the data and you are passing the result okay thing. Once you come back on this thing, the first activity, you are trying to access these two variables to work around the switch statement. Now in the first, if your result code is equals to your result okay, then a string name will be like you are taking the name from the data, as the data has the parameter you were putting in the second activity, the value inside the data, they get a string extra and selected country. Then you are populating the toast with the same. In the second one, you are also doing the same thing. In the rank selection also, you are accessing the data from the string selection, the selected rank, and then you are populating the toast. Let's run this example and see how does it work.